When God is in a place, there are significance that proves the presence of God. You can fake money, but you cannot fake the presence of God. And that is why today we are ready to launch deeper into the things of God, because He is present. I want to talk about how to overcome witchcraft. I want to talk about how to overcome witchcraft. I know most of us know witches. I know most of us, we know witches. Are those people who use spiritual powers and forces to fight against someone with an evil intention. E.g., some get to the extent of killing. They are witches. They are witches. Now we are learning of how to overcome them and how they operate. Now, the answer to our discussion today, how to overcome them, is of course the opposite of what they do. Most of them operate during the night, because during the night your flesh is asleep. It is not easy for the enemy to attack your flesh when it is active, because when the enemy attacks, you will feel it. You will feel the pain and you will pray. But when you are sleeping, by the time you discover that the enemy has attacked, maybe it's in the morning, yet he attacked when you are sleeping. Their target is not your spirit, but their target is your flesh. What they want to damage is your flesh, not your spirit. That's why when they are fighting, they will fight against the flesh. So they will ensure that they come to fight the flesh when the flesh is resting, sleeping. That's when you will see them coming in full swing. When you are sleeping, some of you have had bad dreams, serious bad dreams, over witch trying to follow you, of snakes. That is witchcraft. Why did you dream about snakes? Because something was taking place in the supernatural. Someone was trying to steal your destiny. And your spirit was sensitive enough to know that something is happening. How to overcome witchcraft is operating in the manner of being sensitive in the spirit, making night prayers, even making daytime prayers, so that when the witch of your family stands to speak against you, you are able to stop that witch with the prayers that you made. You are able to counterattack that witch. Why? Because you are always ready to fight. For you to overcome that witch, it's good for you to learn the tactics of this witch. Now, most of them operate during the night, and I have given reasons why. Some of us, it's hard to pray during the night. But I can tell you, when you wake up and pray, you prevent a lot of things from taking place. You block a lot of evil obstacles that have been prepared during that night to come and attack you. That's why they operate during the night, because they know that you are tired and you will sleep. So the opposite of sleeping is waking up, being awake and making serious prayers at night. Number 2 things that should be done to protect yourself from witchcraft is giving sacrifice. There are some form of altars that were formed, whereby some of them, your names are in those altars. They were taken there maybe legally or illegally. Legally or illegally. Some of them you're not aware how they took place. But the truth of the matter remains, they took place. Oh my goodness. I am imagining your uncle or your father or your mother gave a sacrifice on a certain altar, expecting to get something in return. But something might have happened on the way, which didn't lead to anywhere. The story forgotten, then when your time to leave came, now you are suffering because someone gave an offering to an altar to get something in return, but nothing. Instead, that altar is draining the person or the family. When you give a sacrifice to God, what you have done is you have bribed God for God to fight on your behalf. You have paid God. What you give to God is paying God. Father, I am paying Him. If I want someone to be assassinated, for example, I'm not saying I will kill, but I'm giving an example for you to understand. Assassins are paid to commit murder to the specific person. Assassins are paid to commit murder to specific persons. God is also paid. You give to receive. This means you are buying. Blessed are the givers, for they shall receive. The more you give, the more you receive. Abraham gave his son and he received wealth. He received wealth in abundance. The moment you give a sacrifice to God, you will receive a blessing in return of that sacrifice. When you become a giver, you become a serious and a protected child of God. Why? Because you are a giver. What will protect you from witchcraft? What has preserved us from witchcraft is giving. Our giving has fought for us. Our offering has fought for us. The moment you become a giver, that sacrifice speaks on your behalf. You gave to God, therefore God will pay you in return. He will give you peace and protection. When you give to God an offering, what you have done, you have asked God to give you His army, to protect you, to walk with you. Serious givers are usually protected. Why? Because they have paid for the security. They are given serious security to protect and preserve them spiritually. There are men that have been given small angels because the level at which they gave couldn't have afforded for them to be given sergeants. There are children of God who have been given colonels as their bodyguards in the spirit. There are those that have been given small angels because what they gave was not equivalent to what they were to receive. Therefore, you are given what is equivalent to your giving. For you to overcome a witch, you have to be a giver. The moment you give an offering, that offering begins fighting for you. Number 3 is prayer. What witches hate most is a prayerful person. The moment you tune your mind and your everything to God by prayer and supplication, then God begins fighting your battles. You will never become a champion unless you have chosen to walk on the path of the champions. Champions are made champions not because they qualified to be champions, but because they worked hard to get there. For you to be called a champion, it means you have worked hard. It was a competitive race that you indulged yourself in. And finally, amongst the big number that you are competing against, you were able to be announced a winner. Child of God, prayer is what makes you a spiritual bomb, a spiritual missile. It protects you fully. The more you pray, the more you attract the power of God, because prayer is a communication between man and God. It brings grace. Number 4, the thing that you should do to win witchcraft, number 4 is do away with fear. So many people are afraid. They get afraid so much, very fast, without taking time to digest what is in store for them. Sometimes, because you have seen something, what comes in your mind is, this is witchcraft. Take time to listen to what God is saying. Some of us, we are suffering, we are going through hell just because we saw something that looked like witchcraft, and in our minds we decoded it that witchcraft has been thrown to us. And out of that, we ended up getting sick, getting stressed, not fulfilling some things. Why? Because of fear. The courage in you will help you stand. Don't just conclude that it is witchcraft when it is not. So do away with fear and have boldness. Don't fear a witch because they can't do anything when you have God. As long as you have Jesus, nothing and nothing will they do. Thank you so much. May the Lord bless you, and shalom.